FYISC Chapter 11, Structural Changes in the Indian Economy After Liberalization. Part 1, Need for Economic Reforms. Structure of an economy refers to the fundamental features of the economy, like the size of the primary, secondary and tertiary sectors in terms of their contribution to GDP and employment. Structural changes refer to long-term and persistent shifts in the sectoral composition in an economy. Need for economic reforms. 1. Weakness of the pre-1991 policies. One of the important factors which led to economic reforms was the weakness of pre-1991 economic planning, such as low rate of economic growth, rising unemployment, poor performance of the public sector industries, inadequate infrastructural facilities, etc. 2. Major foreign exchange crisis. In the year 1991, Indian economy faced an acute shortage of foreign exchange. Several factors were responsible for this crisis. The immediate cause for the foreign exchange crisis was the war between the Gulf countries of Iraq and Kuwait. This pushed up the oil prices and the import bill went up substantially. 2. India's external debt had increased over time. The burden of interest and repayment of old debts was very large. Fresh debts were being denied by the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and the World Bank, as well as by other commercial leaders. 3. Foreign exchange in the form of NRI deposits was being withdrawn very rapidly because of the political instability in India. 4. The growth in imports had always been far more than the growth in exports. India faced a situation in which it had foreign exchange just enough to meet the import needs of only 3 weeks, and India was almost on the edge of defaulting on its foreign lenders' claims. 3. Conditionalities imposed by the IMF and the World Bank. Under the pressure of obtaining fresh credit from the IMF and the World Bank, India was forced to make the following changes in its policy. India was required to cut down fiscal deficit and the rate of growth of money supply. 2. It was also required to liberalize the domestic economy and to relax restrictions on international trade. 4. Fall of USSR, Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. The USSR and the East European countries had become the major markets for Indian consumer goods over the years. 2. At the end of 1990, political system of these countries collapsed and most of these countries became market economies. 3. Hence, India had to open up trade with these and other countries and thus compete in the global market to retain its share of exports, for which India had to reorganize its own trade policies to preserve its share in the world market.